What is going on, YouTube? Joe here with Culination Media, and welcome back for some live Pokemon Showdown. We're hopping back onto the OU Suspect Test ladder, and we're going to abuse the crap out of Aegislash, basically. It didn't put in too much work in the first part, but I think that's going to change this time, as we finally run into a team with an Aegislash on their side and a Mandibuzz, because I'm figuring as we get higher up on the ladder that that's going to be something that we're going to run into a lot, just because Mandibuzz just kind of poops all over Aegislash, especially the especially defensive variant, because really the only thing that Aegislash can do to it is run a mostly physical set, if not fully physical set, and run Head Smash, and even still it takes all kinds of recoil from just damaging it. So that is something. So we're going to lead off with Dirty here against this Rotom Wash, and I was not afraid about going for U-turn there, just because they're mostly defensive. He'd have to be running close to max speed to outspeed this Diggersby. So that does a lot of damage. This might be specially defensive, but predicting the Will-O-Wisp, I'm going to go into Clefable because I don't care about the burn at all. And now I basically get a free turn to set up the Stealth Rocks, and if he wants to go into... He's probably going to go into Chansey, honestly. Yeah, he is going to go into the Chansey, just in case I wanted to go for a special attack of some sort. Maybe he was predicting Moonblast. Either way, it was still a safe switch on his part, and if he does have Stealth Rock on this Chansey, which I'm thinking he does, looking at his team, he's got nothing else that can set up hazards. So this has to be a Stealth Rocking Chansey, but either way, I am going to go into Mandibuzz here. And he's actually going to throw up a Wish instead, and probably try to pass that into Rotom, I guess, just because it took all that damage. This is going to be so annoying to break. Oh my goodness. Chansey and Aegislash on the same team with a Mandibuzz. That is evil. That is just evil. Like, he is going to pass it into the Rotom, as I did opt to go for the taunt there, just in case he wanted to try to set up rocks. But it doesn't matter, because even if he does go into Rotom, which he does, now he can't burn me. He's pretty much forced to go for Volt Switch, I would guess. Yeah, that's my best guess, and in that case, I don't want to go out into Charizard, obviously, that would just be silly. I could be really ballsy and go out into Diggersby, but if he goes for Hydro Pump, I might lose, so I don't want to do that. He does go for the Hydro Pump, and he misses, which is unfortunate, to say the least, because he did just go for that just in case I wanted to go into Diggersby, and that was a good play, but I don't think it's going to be doing that much to Clefable anyway. I'm not especially defensive, but this is clearly a defensive Rotom because Diggersby outsped it. So it's got to have at least quite a bit of HP investment. He does go for the Volt Switch. That does 23%. So Hydro Pump probably would have done, I don't know, maybe 40-ish in that range. So it would have at least forced me to go for a Soft Boiled. So it does kind of stink that he misses. But it happens. It's an 85% accurate move. You're going to miss it sometimes. At least that wasn't game-changing. And he is going to go right into the Aegislash here. And Moonblast does absolutely nothing. I could try to stay in and go for Fire Blast here, because looking at his team, I don't need Clefable for anything. So I can sack it just to get some damage off on this thing. If I can put it into a range where it's going to die to an EQ from Diggersby, which now it definitely will. And he does go for the Sacred Sword there, predicting me to switch, because normally leaving Clefable out on a Aegislash is not smart. But I don't need it for anything, so yeah. But now I'm kind of tempted to switch. Or should I still sack this? I mean, it's kind of good for Mandibuzz, so I don't think he's going to go for the Sacred Sword again. I think he's going to go for Flash Cannon this time, or Iron Head if he is completely physical. Now, you know what? I'm just going to Soft Boil. I don't need this. He is going to switch out, actually. So that's fine by me. Maybe he doesn't have King's Shield. That would be an interesting turn of events. But he does have lefties, so yeah, he probably has the King's Shield. So that was kind of a fail. I really wanted to sack Clefable there, but he just switched out. So that's fine, I guess. Yeah, really, the only thing that this Clefable does for me is it takes on the Mandibuzz. But I should be able to take it on with some other members of my team. So, especially if Stealth Rocks are up. So he's going to go for the Wish. I don't really want him passing that into Aegislash, so I really want to click EQ here. U-turn is probably my best play. But he's going to pass it into Aegislash, isn't he? No, he's not. He's just going to just pull a Heart Switch here into the Rotom, and he's going to get back up to full, so it doesn't matter. But I do get momentum, so I can go out into whatever I would like here. Probably Aegislash, to be honest. I don't really care about a burn. That residual damage, I mean, kind of stinks. It's not the end of the world. What else could I go out onto? I could go out into Charizard here and try to set up, but I mean, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. He's going to get back up to full. He can't OHKO me with anything because I'm going to resist the Volt Switch, obviously. And he's actually going to pull a Hard Switch into Chansey, expecting me to beat Charizard Y, I guess. That's the only thing I can think of, because otherwise this Chansey just dies. And I think I might have to go for Flare Blitz. I'm not sure if Dragon Claw will kill at +1. And I really don't want him getting a safe switch into the Aegislash. So I really want to click Flare Blitz here. The problem is I'm going to take all kinds of recoil because Chansey's HP is ridiculous. And he's just going to leave it in and sack it. So at least getting rid of this means that he's not going to be passing those wishes to that Rotom or the Aegislash, which could potentially be really bad for my team. He is going to go into Mandibuzz here. Pretty sure this dies to a Flare Blitz. But I don't know that I want to just sacrifice my Charizard, because I can probably come back in and set up on something. So I'm going to switch here. I'm going to go into the Clefable because, again, I don't need it for anything. Yeah, I really don't. Because I have Sharpedo. I can get some damage off or just destroy the Keldeo with a Destiny Bond. And I still have Quick Attack in the back with Diggersby, so Clefable is not a necessity by any means. In fact, most of the time I found using this team that Clefable is an early sack. It's just easy. I don't know. It's like the easy sack on the team. So he is going to go into the Rotom. I don't know if this thing is going to be carrying Pain Split just because he had that Wish Pass stuff going on. But he is defensive, so I don't know. Yeah, he actually does have the Pain Split. Okay, fair enough. But Moonblast does 32%, so if he is defensive, he has to be physically defensive, because I'm not invested in my special attack very much, if at all. Did I put 8 EVs in special attack? I may have. I may have done that, but that's all it is. He is going to Volt Switch here. That only does about 24%, and he is most likely going to go into the Aegislash again. And I'm fine with that. He's probably going to try to kill me this time, and again, I will make the sack with this Clefable because I just don't need it. So we do get off the Moonblast. Would have been nice if we could have gotten a special attack drop, but we did see the Sacred Sword, so this thing might be physical. I don't really know. Either way, I'm kind of tempted to go right into Mandibuzz. You know what? Yeah, I'm not going to sack Clefable. I don't need to. As he does go for the Flash Cannon, so he is not special. He's mixed, which is fine by me. And I can taunt here, because if he switches in... Yeah, if he switches in anything, I mean, at least I have it taunted. Because if he wants to go into Mandibuzz, I can prevent him from defogging. So he's actually going to go into the Rotom. And unfortunately, he's going to get some more lefties, but he did take the Stealth Rock damage, so that is nice. And he's most likely... I'm so tempted to go into Charizard right now. But I don't want him to Hydro Pump. Is he gonna Hydro Pump though? He's probably gonna Volt Switch or Will-O-Wisp. He's not gonna Hydro Pump a Mandibuzz. I really don't see him making that play. But the thing is, I don't want to risk it, so I am gonna go into Clefable as he does go for Volt Switch. I could have gotten that switch into Charizard, but he could have gone right into Keldeo, which, looking at his team, looks like it's probably gonna be Scarfed. So he could have finished me off there. So I guess there's that. I'm playing this Clefable so recklessly, like. I just keep letting it come in against, like, Aegislash and stuff. Well, I'm not bringing it in on Aegislash, but I keep allowing him to bring in the Aegislash for free, essentially. And I'll Soft Boiled here, I guess. Or do I go right into Mandibuzz again? I'm going to go into Mandibuzz. Never mind. Never mind. This Clefable just doesn't want to die. When I try to sack it, it won't die. And so I'm going to save it. Why not? Why not? He does go for the Flash Cannon, and yeah, that's doing nothing to Mandibuzz. 25% for his stab. Flash Cannon is nothing. I will go for Foul Play this time, and we'll see what he does. We shall see. If he goes for King Shield, doesn't matter, because, yeah, it just doesn't. We don't care about those attack drops when we are using their attack stat. So he does go into the Rotom again. That takes minimal damage, because it doesn't have a high attack stat. Probably has 0 IVs in attack, too. I could Roost here, because I just could. I could go back into Clefable, or I can predict him to, again, either go for Will-O-Wisp or Volt Switch and go into Charizard. Or I could Roost, predicting him to Volt Switch. That's very tempting. He does outspeed me. He actually goes for the Pain Split this time, but we're going to get back up to full. I should have taunted him, I guess, but he outspeeds me, so it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. I'm so tempted to go into Charizard, but I know he's just going to go into that Keldeo. You know what? I'm doing it. I'm going to predict a Will-O-Wisp this turn. Go for the Will-O-Wisp. Do it. That way you can't go right into Keldeo. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. Try to break the chain of just going for Volt Switch every time. And we catch him trying to go for Willow there, which is great. Because now I can set up a Dragon Dance. I don't know if Hydro Pump will kill if he's completely defensive. So there's also the chance that he might miss. Unfortunately for my opponent, he misses. That may have had a chance to take me out, and now I get to Roost. That's the second Hydro Pump he missed, too. He misses another one! Oh my goodness! He's missed 3 out of 3 Hydro Pumps. Roman, leave this man alone. Leave him alone. I'm going to give him a sad face because that is ridiculous. I'm sorry, that's just nonsense. 3 Hydro Pumps in a row? 2 back-to-back? Yeah, it's not his day, for sure. Sorry about that, man. That's really sad. I'm going to take advantage of it, though, and I'm going to go for another Dragon Dance. Finally hits. That did matter. That did over half. He was going to kill me when I Dragon Danced. That's going to cost him the game because this Charizard poops on his entire team. He misses another one! Oh my gosh, he's missed 4 out of 5. He's missed 4 out of 5. I don't know that Dragon Claw will even kill here because it looks like he's physically defensive and we crit him. Oh my gosh. This poor man. This poor man. He had such a decent shot at winning and the hacks is just awful. That's as bad as I've seen it in a long time, and normally that stuff goes against me, and I can't even remember the last time where I had something that bad happen. He said, let's see if it misses here. Yeah, I'm at +2, so you being scarfed is irrelevant. You're just getting outsped. So that's dead. There's really nothing he can do at this point. Mandibuzz dies to a Flare Blitz. Charizard is not taking a Dragon Claw with Stealth Rocks up. And Aegislash, I mean, even if he gets the King Shield on me, it's not going to mean anything. He's still going to die to a Flare Blitz. And if he doesn't, and he manages to kill me for whatever reason, I do have Diggersby in the back, plus Sharpedo. So there's really no way he can win. That really stinks. It would have been a lot closer. I'm not saying he would have won for sure. Yeah, but that would have ended up being a bad play on my part just because, and I'm talking about the Charizard switch in, just because Hydro Pump does do over half. For some reason, I figured because he was completely defensive that it would do slightly less than half, and I'd be able to take it barely and get up that Dragon Dance, and then be able to roost off the damage afterwards. But yeah, it turns out that it really did matter. And that crit may have mattered too, because the +2 Dragon Claw, I don't know if it kills, if that was indeed physically defensive Rotom, which I'm pretty sure that it was. So I'll give him GG, I suppose, just because that was a bit ridiculous. Unfortunately, not much I can do about that other than extend my apologies. I mean, it's not really that was interesting. Under my control, so I guess I don't know what I'm apologizing about, but that still stinks. I feel your pain, definitely. We're going to get into another battle here. And I hope that the hacks is a little bit more evenly spread out this time, because I don't know if I really like winning like that. That doesn't feel like a real win to me. That's not like a skilled win, especially when the play I made leading up to that was a bad one, and then I get rewarded for it. I don't like that kind of stuff, because that's just not me. But anyway, we'll give this guy good luck, have fun. Oh, he says thanks, you too. Look at this, an OU, people being respectful. What is this? What is this? See, this is why I'm enjoying OU more than tiers like RU, because RU has just become not good, basically. It's just fat teams and people being salty all the time, toxic stalling, and it's like, well, whatever. I guess that's for some people, not really for me. Normally that's part of the reason why I don't like OU, but it hasn't been like that as of late, and not just on the bottom of the ladder either. Because I've laddered up quite a bit on the normal ladder, and it's pretty fun. pretty fun. Completely unbalanced tier. Like, it's a broken tier. Like, it's not even close to being a balanced tier right now, but it's still fun. So he's going to lead off with the Scizor. I didn't even really explain anything that I saw at Team Preview because I was talking about nonsense. This is a Rain team. He's got the Politoed. He's got the Volcarona. Volcarona on a Rain team. That's interesting. But to be fair, you do kind of need something to take on things like Ferrothorn, because Ferrothorn is a problem for Rain teams. So I can understand having the Volcarona there. Don't know what kind of Scizor this is. It did not Mega Evolve. Maybe it's banded, as he is going to U-turn there. That really didn't do anything, but that isn't saying much. Still not sure if that's banded or not. Probably not. Does Ghost resist Bug? If it does, then it's a quad resist move, so that could still be banded and only do 6%. But yeah, looking at the rest of the team here, it's probably going to be Hydration, Goodra. Scizor and Ferrothorn obviously benefit from the Rain being up because it reduces their 4x weakness to Fire. He's got the Mega Swampert as well, which is obviously why that Scizor is not Mega, and I didn't seem to realize that before. Don't know what that Volcarona is going to be exactly. If it's going to be a setup sweeper in the Rain, or if it's going to be just a like Life Orb attacker or something. That's possible, just to scare out Ferrothorns and such. Not really sure, but I'm going to pull a switch here into Mandibuzz, as unfortunately he does go for Leech Seed. I was kind of hoping he was going to go for the Stealth Rock there, and I could just defog away, but I will just go for Taunt, because that will shut down this Ferrothorn. At that point, he will only be able to Power Whip or Gyro Ball me, and actually he does go right into the Politoed. So he's going to get that Rain up. This thing is probably Damp Rock as well, because he does have no other Rain setters, as far as I can tell. Actually, that Swampert could just be manual Rain. It's possible. Actually, the Goodra could be too. Especially because it's Hydration. It could be like Rain Dance Rest or something. But I don't know. I'm going to get right into Jawsy here, even though it doesn't take hits well, and unfortunately we do get burned. It is the most expendable member of my team at this point. I want to save Clefable, because I would like to get rocks up for that Volcarona. So I don't think it's going to be a quick sack this time around, and I will go for Destiny Bond to see if I can catch him trying to kill me here, because Scald will Oko me from that point, and he's actually going to make a smart play and go out into the Ferrothorn. If I could have taken out that Politoed this early in the match, that would have put me in a great position to get rid of that weather for good, or potentially for good, depending on if he has any other setters, of course. Do I want to switch? Kind of want to save this, but getting some damage off on this could be very helpful as well, putting it in a range of Clefable's Fire Blast after the Rain is gone. So Dark Pulse does a lot. Wow, that did 36%, as he does go for the Leech Seed, and we're going to die to the burn, so that kind of stinks. Kind of feels like that was a waste of time. Maybe I played that badly, but looking at the rest of his team, Sharpedo was not going to be doing too much, except maybe like, I don't know, Hydro Pumping the Volcarona, I guess. But fair enough. I will just go out into Charizard here, because I think even in the Rain, a Flare Blitz is going to kill this thing. So I don't think he's going to want to risk it. So I really want to click Dragon Claw, predicting the Goodra to come out. But I can also Dragon Dance too, predicting that switch. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. He does go out into the Goodra. I should have just clicked Dragon Claw, because now he's going to have an opportunity to switch out if he wants to, now that he knows for sure that I'm X. Because the way I brought it out, it may look like I was Y, and yeah, he is going to switch right out into the Swampert, and that just gets O-code. That was offensive Swampert. Because, yeah, physically defensive Swampert does not die to a +1 Dragon Claw, almost positive. So we don't have to worry about the Megapert, which is great, because that thing could have swept my team. I didn't have much to stop that. So he is going to go back into the Ferrothorn, and I'm pretty sure that dies to a Flare Blitz at +1, even though the Rain is up. I don't know that you're taking this. So, yeah, you're not taking that. I am going to take all the damage from the Iron Barbs, Rocky Helmet, and Flare Blitz Recoil, so that brings me down from 100 to 43%, which is outrageous. But if he gets rid of Ferrothorn, I am fine with that, because that also means that he's likely now not going to be able to get up Stealth Rocks. He is going to go into the Volcarona, and I can just Dragon Claw this. Why would you bring this out here? I'm going to drag... He outsped me at +1. This is Scarf Hurricane Volcarona. Not even bad. Not even bad. That is awesome. That is great. Yeah, put it in the chat. Interesting. That is pretty cool. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm not even mad right now that he just took out my Charizard with a Hurricane Volcarona in the rain. Scarf Hurricane Volcarona. I hope he's HP Water too. I really do. Man, I like this guy. I like this guy a lot. We can go into Aegislash because, yeah, he's locked into Hurricane. He's not going to want to stay in and take all that damage. So he's probably going to go into the Goodra. Which means I kind of want to pull a double here. I will pull a double into the Diggersby as he actually goes back out into Politoed to get up the rain again. Pretty sure I outspeed this because it's most likely a bulky set. Just judging by the team, I'm going to say that's a bulky set. So I will go for the U-turn here, get some damage off on something. I really need to try to get rocks up to limit the amount of switches that Volcarona has. I really should have tried to get it set up earlier on in the match. And that could come back to bite me here. But I do outspeed this. That U-turn did 49%. I could have just killed him with an Earthquake, I'm pretty sure. Or come really close to killing with an Earthquake. But I think I want to... do I want to soft-boiled or I want to try to set up rocks and sacrifice this thing? The Fire Blast could still potentially be useful to one-shot Scizor. But I have to be at a decent amount of HP to not die from a Bullet Punch. And if it's banded, that could be tricky. Maybe it's best I just go and set up the Stealth Rock, as he is going to switch right into the Scizor. Fair enough. Fair enough, but we have those rocks up, which is great, and I could Soft Boil just to get back up to full, but it's probably better for me if I go into Mandibuzz, because at least I can foul play this thing. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. And he actually shows off the Defog and the lefties. Okay, so he's not banded. He is likely specially defensive. So with that in mind, that means that if there's no rain up, we can probably not kill him with a Fire Blast. So we're going to need to get some prior damage. I really need to try to catch that thing switching in, though, because, yeah, he's just going to continue to defog the hazards away, and then that Volcarona is going to poop on everything. So I do think I want to go into Clefable here. Do I? That foul play did a lot. I wonder if this is physical. And if it's not, then he just has, he definitely has attack IVs. Because, yeah, 37% to a Goodra. Foul play. That's kind of crazy. Or maybe he's just offensive. I don't know. I guess it's possible he doesn't have HP investment. He has speed investment instead. It's not very typical, but this is a bit of a different set just because of the fact that it's on a rain team. I'm assuming. And the fact that he has a Scarf Volcarona. So, I'm still reeling from that. That's crazy. That is crazy. That did not even cross my mind when I had Charizard out, like, and he just brings in Volcarona. I thought maybe if anything, he was Focus Sash. Definitely not Scarf. That makes me kind of want to try that on a rain team, to be honest. Anyway. Anywho, he's taking a long time thinking about his move here. I kind of want to start the timer, but he does choose his move, and he goes for the rest, okay? He just does not want to have that extra damage. Fair enough. I can respect that, but I can set up rocks here, or just go straight for a Moonblast. I kind of want to set up rocks just to pressure that Scizor to come back in. So I don't know if he's going to do that right away. We probably will be able to tell if he has Sludge Bomb here, too. Because if he has it, he's most likely just going to stay in and go for it here. He might have Thunder because this is a rain team. Yeah, he does have the Thunder. That does 45% because he's Life Orb. That's not cool because he's probably going to get a slightly higher roll and take me out if I click Soft Boiled. But I don't have any switch-ins. Like, I don't want to switch Diggersby in on a potential Dragon Pulse here. he's actually going to switch right into the Scizor, which is perfect because the rain's going to end this turn. Unfortunately, I think he is specially defensive, so he should be able to take this Fire Blast, but we're going to get a lot of damage off on him. And we do outspeed him naturally, so we should be okay here. Now, if he's... he could make a really nice play here and go for the Roost, scouting for the Fire move. Of course, it's always possible that we miss a Fire Blast, too. No, actually, we don't outspeed him. Never mind. Never mind, and he just dies to a Fire Blast. Okay, maybe he wasn't specially defensive. Maybe he had some speed investment. I'm pretty sure Clefable... Does Clefable outspeed? Or am I just crazy? I'm going to check that right now. What is Clefable's base speed? Let's see. Clefable is base 60. Oh, whoa. Whoa, it's base 60. Never mind. That still could have been specially defensive because Scizor is base 65. So forget everything I just said about Clefable outspeeding things naturally. He is going to Encore me into the Fire Blast as he comes in with the Politoed, unfortunately. And in the rain, that's going to do 4%. 4%. Okay, then. Alrighty, then. So yeah, everything I said about Clefable and Scizor and all that, just ignore all of that because it was all incorrect. All incorrect info. So he is going to pull a double into the Volcarona here, which we know is Scarfed. And he's most likely just going to fire off a Hurricane here. Not going to go for a fire move. If he goes for Bug Buzz, I can switch in like Aegislash or something. He does get a crit as I Roost. And the reason I roosted there is because I wanted to see, one, what he locks himself into, and I also wanted to gauge the damage. And that really did not do much. 37.5% on a critical hit is ridiculous. Like, Mandibuzz is stupid bulky. I am going to taunt you. I don't want you resting. So, yeah, if you want to Dragon Pulse me, that's fine, because you're taking Life Orb damage. And I can Roost off afterwards. He does have the Thunder, though. Do I need Mandibuzz? Actually, I think that Clefable is actually my least useful Pokemon at this point. And I really want to get Stealth Rocks up. Because he was able to defog away with the Scizor because he does outspeed me, even though I'm stupid and think that I outspeed him. I don't know what I was thinking. I really don't. I don't play OU very much. Persona came out a little bit there. But there's really no reason for me to click anything but, Stealth Rock seems like the best play. I really want to just limit that Volcarona and put it in range of a quick attack. So his taunt doesn't end this turn, it ends next turn, so he has to kill me here or switch. And I don't see him switching. If he does, though, I mean, I can just click Soft Boiled. So if he kills me, though, the thing is, if he does kill me, Diggersby wins the game. Yeah, he's going to go for Fire Blast, actually. Fire Blast in the rain, okay. Still kills me, so, I mean, that's fine. And, yeah, now Diggersby just wins because Volcarona, which clearly is offensive, is going to just die to a quick attack. Like, I don't care if it's still at 50% and it's a base 40 power move, it just dies. This is where Choice Band Diggersby puts in the work. This Goodra's dead. And I'm pretty sure that Politoed is just going to die as well. And if it doesn't, we do still have Aegislash. And the rain is actually going to help us there because it means Volcarona, if he saves it for last and Politoed happens to survive, we should be able to take a Fire Blast / Fiery Dance from it and kill it with a Shadow Ball, Shadow Sneak combination. So I believe we have this in the bag here. I don't think there's a way I can lose it at this point. But we'll have to see. We'll have to see. You never know what might happen. You never know. For all I know, he could be running Bright Powder and I can just miss a quick attack along the way. Actually, no. That's not possible because we saw the Life Orb on the Goodra. We saw that the rain was lasting 8 turns with the Politoed, and we know that the Volcarona is Scarf. So that's it. That is it, my friends. And he actually is going to just try to switch in the Politoed, which after the Stealth Rock does just die. And at that point, yeah, that's it. He's going to have to try to go into Volcarona and live a hit. And that is not going to happen. Because when Goodra comes back in, it's going to be at like 3%. So, yeah, if your Politoed's taking 35% from a quick attack, you're not taking that with 2% or 3% left. So he's going to go out into the Volcarona again here. because that's really his only play at this point. He has to try to live a hit, but he's not going to because this is a Diggersby, and Dirta is power. Dirta is power, ladies and gents. Out comes the Goodra, and yep, Diggersby indeed does just clean up the match. We'll give him a GG. This guy had some pretty cool sets. Didn't get to see all of them, but that Volcarona was really freaking cool. I so hope that it had HP Water. That'd be amazing. That would be so amazing. But yeah, that's going to be it for this time because it's been just over a half an hour. I think I'm going to do at least one more part. But I'm going to check my spot on the ladder here so far. So yeah, I lost the first match. If you follow me on Twitter, you saw that I was complaining about a Flash Cannon Thunderous that hacks me to death via multi-paras. Yeah, unfortunately Clefable bit the dust because of constant paralysis. But since losing that match, I won 8 in a row, a couple of which you guys have seen so far. So we're going to try to keep boosting that up a little bit. And yeah, so that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you're leaving a like rating or a comment or whatever you would like to do, and I will see you all next time. And until then, game on.